Alright, y'all boys, we back with another video. So today we are going to be doing a Blue Yuta review. As you know, we do usually pop out a summon video, then we do a review video, and then we do a showcase video of the character, right? So the Global's first anniversary character is finally here. We're talking about, you know, the Blue Yuta, which I literally just mentioned, JJK 0, of course. I've spent quite some time testing him on the JP version, and I'm sure most of you guys also seen how insane his performance is on JP. Now, the new Yuta is a movie limited character, meaning he's only going to be coming back once a year when we get the JJK 0 movie reruns. At first look, his stats are like literally slightly above average, right? So let me go to Yuta real quick. Where is he? Slightly above average, and he doesn't have those crazy Gojo stats. However, his cursed energy is insane. Insane. At 0 dupes, he starts with 80 cursed energy, right? Because he has the 70 initial, and then he'll get the 10 from his turn, from turn 1. It literally lets him start spamming his skills from turn 1, like from the get-go. And his ultimate costs 1,752, which is insanely high, but his auto skills, with basically his passives, help get his ultimate a lot faster. So we're going to be talking about Yuta's ultimate. So Yuta's gimmick is pretty much revolves around getting his ultimate off. It's pretty much a steroid that not only deals an insane damage, 1,800% damage at level 10, but also gives him a 70% curse technique damage increase with an additional further 100% damage increase against enemies in break, while also ignoring darkness, and also gives him 50 curse energy after ulting and lets him recover 20 curse energy every turn. And on top of that, it also transforms his skills, which gives him an absolutely brain-dead multipliers and effects. All of this for 8 turns. Did I also mention that your ultimate isn't locked and he can still charge during those 8 turns? Yeah, so much better than OG Yuta. The fucking dog shit of the OG Yuta is the fact that he locks himself, but not this one. And he gets so much shit on top of it. Yeah, this guy is basically absolutely broken. And once you ult, you pretty much keep that state up permanently, because in those 8 turns, you'll be able to get the state again, right? Like you'll be able to ult again and then get the state again. Just because of that, I'm not even going to talk about his pre-transformation skills. Don't get me wrong, they're really strong, but you're actually playing with Yuta after his ult. So like you're only going to be worrying about that after. So now let's talk about skill 1. We're talking about skill 1 post Rika, right? Once you already used your ult. His skill 1 is pretty decent during the Rika state. It has a 300% multiplier and increases his break damage by 100%. However, since Yuta will have so much curse energy, you'll like barely get to use it. Like deadass, you're going to be using all the other skills. Then we have skill 2 post Rika, right? So once you have the Rika out, his skill 2 is going to be a self buff, which increases his curse technique damage by 80% and reduces enemies' critical hit resistance by 60% for 5 turns. 5 turns is insane. It also fills his ultimate by 60. The buff can't be stacked, and it does cost a lot, 70 curse energy, but you do get a free 50 curse energy once you ult, right? So it's not that bad. Then we have skill 3. His skill 3 is obviously what we're talking about is after the ult. It's disgusting. It has a 960% multiplier, but it's technically 1,600% because of the 70% buff you get. It's literally another ult. And it costs 30 curse energy, while Yuta gets 20 curse energy every turn. To put it in perspective, it does the same, if not more damage than Sukuna's 90 curse energy skill 3. You can spam this shit so hard, bro. But the dev said, nah, let's glaze Yuta even more, and added an extra stackable buff on it. Like insanity, stackable buff on it. 50% crit damage increase for 3 turns and 50% damage received increase for 3 turns. I have no ideas what I have no clue, no idea what the devs were smoking when they made this fucking character. Like, what is this shit? He's just popping off skill 3s like they're fucking ults, bro. And on top of that, his ult does a lot of damage. He's in this state that just buffs him. It's just insanity. It kind of reminds me of a sense, kind of like the Maki, where Maki does so much damage with her skill 3, like you're just spamming the, excuse me, not Maki, Nobara, where you're just doing so much damage with your skill 3, the red one. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's just consistent. This is literally going to be Yuta. He's going to be doing that much damage because he has so much curse energy. And he's insane. He's insane. He, like, him and obviously Nobara aren't even on the same level, because Yuta's like far leagues above her just with all these buffs and everything. So let me talk about his rotations. Now, his rotations are quite simple. You want to get Yuta's ultimate as soon as possible. That is the main goal when playing this character. That's why you're usually going to start off with his skill 2 to get the crit rate increase, and then you'll just be using skill 3 to get those crits off to help him charge his ult faster. At turn 4, you have the option to re-up your skill 2 buff, but I usually just continue using his skill 3 since it's more cursed energy efficient. It depends how close you are to your ultimate realistically, and if you got lucky with crits or not. Once you have your ult, you use it, then you buff yourself with skill 2, and then you just keep spamming skill 3. In an optimal setup and crits, there will be almost no downtime, and you will continuously spam skill 3 and get his ult again, recover 50 curse energy, then spam skill 3s again, and so on. Like, you're just going to be doing this shit infinitely, right? It's literally a constant loop. Now that we already talked about the character and his kits and his rotations in terms of his skills, let's talk about his teams and what you plan to do with this character on those teams. Alright, so here we are. I'm just gonna remove these real quick just because obviously this is back when I had did the Dogon video. That was a while back. That was, yeah, kind of crazy that I think that was the last character I reviewed or whatever. Anyways, we're going to be building the team now. Now, obviously, blue is insanely strong when it comes to supports, especially debuffers, right? So let me just put in Yuta because obviously he's going to be the main one here, right? Now, for characters, you have literally like these insane debuffers. So for one, you have Inumaki, right? Absolutely shredding shit. He's been so relevant in almost any content in terms of, blue team. Then you also have Blue Kamo, wherein he did get his buff, so he is a lot more efficient, does a lot more damage, debuffs a lot better. He's just... Okay, where the fuck is he? Am I blind? Where's Buddy at? No, I think he's like in the 90s. Yeah, here he is. But yeah, though they're literally insane. Let's go to the next debuffer that we also have, who's also insane. With SP. Like, I literally, it's just insanity how much debuffers, good blue debuffers. So basically, when you are building the team, you're just basically going to pick one or two of the debuffers to pair up with Yuta. So in this case, I'd probably if my Kamo was built, I'd put him in here, but he's not built, so I'm not going to use Kamo. What I'm going to use here is I'm going to be using my Inumaki and probably Geto, right? Probably Geto. But let's say I don't want to use that many debuffers. Let's just say I want to use just Inumaki and Yuta together. Then we'll just do that. And then for buffers, you can use characters like what's called SSR Momo. Obviously another insane blue unit, literally since like the beginning of the game. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna slot in my Momo. You could also put SR Yaga, that's fine as well. You can also slot in, let's say, more situational units or more niche units, like, for example, let me find in Blue Yuji, right? Because Blue Yuji is going to help you charge your ult faster, give you more crits to him and whoever's behind him. That's going to help your Yuta obviously charge his ult a lot faster. It's way better, right? You could even, slot in SR Yuki in this team. Maybe I don't want to have this Yuji here, and I'd rather have more sustain. Then I'll just put SR Yuki in there, and then boom, I'll have that sustain on my team, right? Just put him in there and easy, done. Team is so simple, easy to make. This is kind of like a team that I would run, not with Yuji. I'd probably run Yuki if it's too hard, or I would run, another debuffer, probably Blue Geto in this case. The memory that you're going to be using is, let me see if I can find it here. It's going to be this one. You can have the Cursed Spirit School. This is going to be the memory that you're probably going to want to use on Yuta. This basically gives you 70% curse technique increase to yourself, so not bad. Obviously, Yuta is going to be able to abuse this. And then when yourself lands a critical hit, you're going to also recover 200 ultimate gates for yourself, which you will, just because obviously, like I mentioned earlier, he has built-in stuff to increase stack his crit while also lowering the crit resistance of the enemies and stuff like that. So he's going to be critting very easily, and he's going to be charging his ult from his passive. He's going to be charging his ult from this memory. If you have a character like Yuji, you can put him in the front of Yuta, and then obviously you can help him get even more crits to charge his ult faster while also giving him a 15% ultimate charge rate increase. So you'll be able to pump out ults even faster with your Yuta. It's insane. But yeah, this is the memory you're going to want to use. Team's going to look something roughly like this: one or two blue debuffers, a buffer, and depending on if you're using two debuffers or not, you can slot in somebody else situational based on what you're tackling. But yeah, this is the team. Very simple, very easy, not that difficult. Because blue just has so many insane characters, and you literally have so many different options to choose from. So now I'm just going to give you my final thoughts on the character overall. Now, performance-wise, I'm going to say you're not going to regret pulling this character. I would have to say he's absolutely a top tier. He's literally the strongest DPS in the game right now. The way that he gets his ult, the way that he dishes out damage, the flexibility in his damage, the consistency that you have with this character in his damage, the fact that he has counters to give him a little bit of survivability. Yeah, he just has it all in it. He has so many stackables, it's just insane, while also dishing out a lot of damage with like multiple moves that do multiple skills that do a lot of damage, right? It's just a timing thing that's a problem. You also have like the second anniversary for JP is right around the corner, right? And since Yuta is an attacker, even if he's top tier, I would say I kind of value personally, support buffers and debuffers a lot more than DPS characters. Just because, DPS characters usually get power crept just based off the fact that they're not really unique in their way, in the fact that their main reason that you use that character is for dishing out damage. And, they'll get power crept, while supports, buffers, and all of them, they're more unique in the way they kind of bring survivability for your team. So survivability, charging ults, whatever it may be, depending on what character it is and what they decide to make with that character. So yeah, obviously, personally, like I said, you won't regret pulling him. Strongest DPS. Just keep in mind, DPS do get power crept at some point. Even if it takes some time, they will. So, but I wouldn't say you should regret it. Like, he's literally amazing. Just keep in mind, like I mentioned earlier, you have the second anniversary for JP right around the corner, and we're gonna get more news about new characters. And you never know. You literally never know. He might not be even worth summoning for if another blue character comes out for the anniversary on JP and he's literally insane, giga cracked, more OP than Yuta. Then it's like, oh yeah, Yuta's just kind of like a bait basically. So yeah, anyways, if the second anniversary releases someone equivalent to like last year's Domain Gojo, you absolutely cannot skip that unit. Even just a blue type buffer would be more valuable than Yuta in my opinion. Sukuna is still viable too, and there's almost like no situation where you must have Yuta besides the new like 80 to 90 tower floors on JP. But even then, there's a good chance that like a new support will kind of make Sukuna viable there. So yeah, yeah, he's not a must pull in my opinion. Supports are like much more viable and much more of a better thing to be chasing for. But that doesn't mean that the character is not amazing. He's not the strongest DPS character in the game. Doesn't mean that you can't summon for him. Doesn't mean you can't pull for him. It still wouldn't be a wrong choice just because of how much damage he does. But just keep in mind, like I mentioned earlier, the second anniversary for JP soon. And, if there's a unit that comes out of there that's like Domain Gojo, if you skip that unit, you're going to regret skipping that unit. I promise you. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching. That's basically going to be it on my review and the conclusion with the thoughts of the new Yuta. Insane character. Literally insanity. I pulled for him. He's strong. He's strong as hell. I'm going to pull for whatever other characters come next too. So it is what it is. But yeah, anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.